In short answer questions, you need to answer the given questions in a few words. Instruction on how many words or numbers are allowed is given and is extremely important. The instruction may be one of these. It could say that you are allowed only one word. It could say you are allowed no more than 2 words, etc. Let's understand these instructions. If it says one word and / or a number, what it means is that your answer could be a single word answer, it could be a single number answer, or it could be combination of a word and number. If the instruction says no more than 2 words, your answer can be a 1-word answer or a 2-word answer. It cannot be more than 2 words. A hyphenated word is 1 word, not 2 words, and numbers can be written using figures or words. They would be considered as numbers. Another important thing to keep in mind is that you will find the exact word or words in the passage that are the answer to your given question. The questions are in the same order as the information in the text. So we read one question at a time, look for its answer, and then move on to the next one. So to solve this question type, first you read one question, you identify the location keywords. Determining a tentative location really helps find the answers quickly. So don't hesitate to start with the second or third question if it seems to have more obvious location keywords. With the location keywords in mind, scan the passage. Scanning means reading quickly while looking for specific information. Once you have a tentative location of where the answer could be in the passage, go back to the question, reread it, understand it thoroughly. The language in the question is usually simpler than the language in the passage. So it really helps to understand the question thoroughly before you start looking for the answer in the passage. In short answer questions, once you understand the question, you usually have some idea of what you're looking for. For example, in this question it says, how far? So you know you're looking for a distance. Now read the part of the passage carefully where you expect the answer to be. You may need to read 2 to 3 sentences to figure out the answer. Remember, you will find the exact word or words for the answer in the passage. And finally, try to find synonyms in the text for as many words in the question as possible to confirm your answer. Let's look at a few examples now. The first question here, the 11th question, has very obvious location keywords. There are 2 capitalized words, Dolikothi and Wales. So the first thing I do is, I go to the passage, try to find where these 2 words are mentioned. They are mentioned for the first time in the second last paragraph. Now that I have the tentative location, I read the question. What type of mineral were Dolikothi mines in Wales built to extract? So what the question means is that these mines were built to extract a mineral. Which mineral or which type of mineral would be the answer? In the passage, the sentence that mentions Dolikothi is, traces of such tunnels used to mine gold can still be found in the Dolikothi mines in Wales. The answer could be gold. But I'll read the sentences before and after this. The reason is that the question says, which mineral was it built for? So what if the mines were built to extract mineral A, but later mineral B was found there? There is no mention of any other mineral before or after. You could get confused by the fact that the word mineral is used in the sentences before and after, but not in the sentence where Dolikothi mines are mentioned and where we find the answer. But the question asks for which type of mineral. So we are looking for the name of a mineral. The confirmation of synonyms part is a little tricky in this one because the words extraction and construction are there in the next sentence. In this question, it is the actual understanding of what exactly the question is asking that helps find the answer. Let's do the next one. In addition to the patron, whose name might be carved onto a tunnel. As for the location, we know where the answer to the 11th question is. The 13th question again has some capitalized words which are mentioned in the next paragraph, the last paragraph of the passage. So the answer to the 12th would be between the 11th and the 13th. What the question means is, the name of the patron is carved on the tunnel. the name of which other person might be carved on the tunnel. So this is where the answer to the 11th question is. I start looking after this for words related to patron, name, carved, and tunnel. Towards the end of the next paragraph is the word patrons, and there are also the words inscriptions and names in the same sentence. Inscription means something that is inscribed or carved. Patron is a person who gives financial support or who pays for something. So in this case, the patron would be the person who is paying for the tunnel. To find out the answer, we do need to understand the meaning of the word inscription, but we could have found the answer without really understanding what patron means. In the passage, it says, most tunnels had inscriptions showing the names of patrons who ordered construction and sometimes the name of the architect. The answer is architect. And here are some words from the question and the corresponding words or corresponding synonyms that we found in the passage. In short answer questions, there could be more than one correct answer. For example, in this question here, the instruction says no more than 3 words and or a number. So the answer could be moss or pads of moss. If the instruction had been 1 word only or no more than 2 words, only one correct answer would be possible, moss. In the books which have IELTS reading practice tests, this is how the answers are written. So this means there are 2 possible answers, moss or pads of moss. And finally, even though you do find the exact word or words that you need for your answer, you could use certain variations and they would be marked correct if the answer is correct. One such possible variation is a different spelling of the same word. In IELTS, both American and British spellings are acceptable and are marked correct. So the answer to this question is 6 meters. You could write either of the 2 spellings of meters. Knowing the question types helps you decide which questions to do first and know the right technique for each question type. Basically, it helps you find answers quickly and correctly. Most of the question types have answers in the same order as the information in the text. In case of all of these question types, our target is always to look for location key information in the questions, scan the passage for the location of the answer, then read the question carefully, understand the question, and then focus on that part of the passage where we expect the answer to be. All the different methods of solving these question types that I've recommended in this video are just that, recommendations and suggestions. Obviously, your target is to find the answer. Practice a lot. See what method works the best for you. But certainly, knowing each question type well helps you identify that method for yourself. Most importantly, you need this knowledge of different question types to figure out which question type to do first. And finally, practice is crucial. However, just do not practice one test after another without pausing to understand why you made the mistakes that you did. So do a practice test, correct it, go back and figure out why you made every single mistake, and then move on to the next one. Just doing a lot of practice tests, one after another, may not help you improve your reading score. That's it for now. Hope this helped you. All the very best.